That's
Right.
our plan. Let's say 3 weeks, we're going to finish this. If somebody leaves or emergency things happen, then the project cannot hold, right? So
Right.
somebody else need to do your job. That's the agile methodology. So you have to make them understand that, let's say in a project, 3 people are manual, one is automation. So whenever automation is completed, they give it to you to run it. So whenever you are able to run it, you need to modify the script. You have the capability to modify the script. If there is an error in the script, you can fix it. You need to tell them, because in the manual testing position, your status is the highest level. You know two automation tool, QTP and Selenium both, right? So you need to review that. Make sure, like, you review the like keyword in QTP. You need to tell them whenever you talk to them, you need to mention certain QTP keyword, Selenium keyword, same thing. You need to talk to them. This is what you do. Whenever you tell them you're doing manually, and also you're going to include that you do in QTP work, and you did this, and Selenium, what you did. We have an automation testing Selenium, and you do this kind of job. Okay, whenever the automation tester is not there, or even you are testing, like testing automation script, and if for some reason it's stopped, and you can fix it. What happened, you can change the parameter file, right? You can, let's say you are doing a data driven and there is an Excel file you need to connect, and you can connect, change the parameter, things like that. You need to explain those things. It's very, very, very important. Okay, because almost every places nowadays they have automation. So if they have automation, even you will not be doing automation testing, but it's better for you, for them, if somebody else also have an idea about automation. No, they will prefer you over somebody else who does not know, and especially when you have two automation tool knowledge, it's very important. So you need to mention whenever you will interview as a manual tester. It's not like you will tell them you don't know that. Okay, so make sure that. And when you talk to recruiter, tell them that you are good at also automation, and you are not an automation tester, but you know automation. Mention that. And database, whenever you talk to database, you're going to mention that you know how to do joining, set operator, creating data set for multiple table, comparing the data. You need to mention all this kind of thing. It's very important. So it depends how you talk, and how you present yourself. Those are the things is very important. Said bhai?
Arif,
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Said bhai. Okay, we were just talking about something. We are actually waiting for you.
তো আরিফ ভাই, আমার যে রেজুমেটা আছে
হ্যাঁ,
বুঝছেন,
হ্যাঁ।
এখন ওটা কি আপডেট করে দেবেন, লাইক মোর ফোকাস অন ম্যানুয়াল টেস্টিং?
আমি আসলে, আপনি পাঠাইছিলেন, আমি দেখতে পারি নাই, দেখার সুযোগ হয় নাই, বাট আই উইল লুক ইনটু ইট। ওকে, আমি একটু দেখে,
আমি ফার্স্ট রেজুমেটা আপনাকে পাঠাইছিলাম, সেকেন্ডটা না।
তাহলে আপনি এই করেন তো, আমি কনফিউজ হয়ে যাব। আপনি এই করেন তো, তাহলে আবার আমাকে একটু পাঠান তো।
ফার্স্টে রাইট, ফার্স্ট
আপনি যে
রেজুমে যেটা।
জিনিসটা এখন মার্কেটে দিছেন আর কি, এজ এ অটোমেশন টেস্টার হিসেবে তো দিছেন, রাইট? আপনি এখন রেজুমিটা মার্কেটে দিছেন এজ এ অটোমেশন টেস্টার, রাইট?
অটোমেশন টেস্ট, রাইট।
Okay, send me that one. I'll modify it as a manual tester, and then you upload that one. Okay.
ওকে।
Uh, yes. So I mean, Hassan bhai, all I'm saying is it's completely up to you now. Like, you have the knowledge, but you just need to use it properly. Actively try করতে হবে, বুঝছেন? This job is Hassan bhai nothing. From my experience, only those people get a job who has experience. I mean, sorry, who does not experience, who are active. That's the only thing I see in this job. It doesn't matter what is your background, honestly. As I told you, I have people that has like high school degree from Bangladesh. I had student master degree, pass, didn't get a job. I had student in computer science here, didn't get a job. But like, some people doesn't even speak proper English, they got a job. So it's like, how active you are. That's all it matters. How active you are, how actively you are trying. The priority. If you have those, you will get a job. I can guarantee you that you will get a job. I mean, anybody can give you a job if you are actively trying. That's the most important thing. You are active. Priority. Nothing else. So just like I said, please, at least daily spend some time on like browsing. Like, you're looking at your resume, and then recruiter. organizing, taking notes on your notebook for like job, for different recruiter, who you going to talk to tomorrow. We already talk, like, those are the things. Actively try and communicate with them. Like, say if they submit your resume today, call them in 2 days later on. If there is some set up an interview, just ask them, so what is the status, and then tell them, like, I'm going to have another interview soon, probably early. So since I talked to you, you let me know what is your status. So, like, talking to them like that. And also you can browse from online. Like, you can this is another thing, most important thing you need to do. At least like, apply few job manually. Like, recruiter call you, you also can call them. You can find the job from online. Like, if you go on Dice, easily you can search, that in the website you can search job. You put the location and what kind of job you're looking for, software engineer, and then software test engineer, and then you put the location, you search, they'll give you like hundreds of jobs you'll get. So based on the location, you just get the you have to fill out a form and things like that. Sometimes you can call them, find out. So those are the things you need to do. Not like, don't just wait for the recruiter to call you. You need to also try on your own. Okay, those very important thing. So like I said, you have to be active. To get a job, you have to be active. Knowledge, of course, you have to have, but the knowledge, if you have and you don't try actively, you don't put priority, nothing is going to happen. Okay, so let's start the class. Advice there. Okay. Okay, any question you guys have before we start talking the things that we are planning to talk today?
Like, let's say if I want to apply to a specific state, so how it will go through? Like, I need to apply manually on that, or
which one? I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
Like, let's say, for example, right now I'm in New York and I wanna call from like only Pennsylvania, Virginia, or Connecticut or New Jersey. All right, so I need to manually apply for them, or like, is there any option in Dice where we can just do that only these area we can receive the calls, or like only these area recruiters can contact with us?
Yeah, on the job portal, you have the option to put that location, which location you want to. You have the option. You'll put it in there, but does not matter actually what location you put. You will get the call from anywhere. I do get the call from Texas, California, North Carolina. All this location I get. I get a lot of call from North Carolina, but I never put North Carolina in the job portal. So let's say currently the last time I put my resume, I put Virginia, but I was getting call from New York also. So and over there, I also mentioned that I'm looking for full time and I'm looking for only Virginia area. I put that, but still I'm getting call from other places, like I said, North Carolina, and then New York, Connecticut, different places. So you have the option. That's the first thing. Like, answer to your question, you have that option, but that does not restrict you to get the call from other places also. They will recruiter to call you because they usually match with two things. First, the location, one option. Another thing also, quality. Whatever they are looking, if they match with your resume, they'll call you. They will ask you, do you want to move to location, things like that. Okay. So,
all right. Yeah. And a few more things on the resume, like some companies go through with the keywords, like they have softwares and stuff.
Yes.
For which they go through with the keywords.
Yes.
So, like, according to every JD, we need to compile our thing, or like how we will go through with that.
Okay. Yeah. What happened is, whenever the recruiter send a resume, job description to you, and then based on that, sometimes certain things we need to like write maybe 1 or 2 line. That's it. Like changing meaning, like you are changing 2-3 lines probably. Sometimes, not always. So based on the job description, the recruiter will call you. Can you send me your updated resume? They will tell you that. They will ask you that. That really means is change your resume based on the JD. This is what they actually mean by that. Like I said, let's say their current job is using Oracle database, but in your resume you don't have Oracle database, you have SQL Server Vertica. Then you just going to include Oracle database in there also. Things like that. Those are the changes that we need to do. This is what it means. Let's say they want you to do RTM. Let's say they mention it in there. It's important for them. So you're going to like highlight that part that I used to do RTM in my current job. Things like that. Those are the.
I already know about the RTM and.
Yeah, it's minor changes. Nothing. It's like 5 minutes, 2 minutes changes.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes they ask you like specific tool. That do you use that tool? And let's say Backjila. So if you don't know, it's not, you cannot learn it in one day, right? So what do you do? Or Jira or Rally. So Jira and Rally, they're almost the same thing. If you know one, you know the other. Let's say you have Jira, you don't have Rally. So you just add the Rally in your resume. And you don't add it current project, you add it like say 2 projects from now. Let's say you use it in 3 years ago. At least you use it, you have it. So those are the things you can say, because they know if you use it once, you can learn it in like 1 hour. It will take, So those are the changes really. Any special tool, things like that, you need to put it in there based on the journey, nothing else. Yeah, what else?
Okay. No, that's it.
Hasan bhai, any question for you? You were saying something before I cut you off.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. So, Said, we want to talk joining, right?
Yeah.
Joining. Now, do you?
Yes,
I'll go through joining. It's like only few joining that is important for us. Who's go through? But do you have any specific question? Because before I go through in general.
No. I just need a general example, like
Okay.
Example wise.
Okay.
I know, like what is what. I just need a general example with it.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Is there any way like you can increase your font size?
Oh, font size is smaller. Okay, sorry, sure. Yeah, we can increase it. We go on text editor, right? We go in all languages, right? No, hold on. Yeah, sure. That will be helpful. Is okay now, or should I make it a little bit bigger?
Yeah, right.
Is okay? Okay. I'm going to talk a couple other things also, guys, just to let you know, like say views, another thing you need to know. Mentalist views, right?
Index, Arif bhai.
What?
Can you show a little bit about indexing?
Yeah, sure. But indexing actually, like what's the purpose you are asking? Because indexing, we don't really do anything. Indexing is basically for designer, whoever do database design, they put those in index based on the like column they will be using in the reporting side. We don't actually do anything about indexing. From the testing point of view, there is nothing we can do in indexing. Like anything specific you want to know? What is index?
No, like the definition is indexing to find data faster and quicker, right? Where we can find
what it does actually, index meaning like whenever we create a table, right? Whenever we create a table, behind the scene, database organize the data in the table. Organize it. They organize it on their own way. Whenever I create a table, a table could be any amount of data. It could be millions of records. Database doesn't know. So what they do, based on the column name, how many column you have, what are the size of the table, things like that, they organize the table. they create multiple table from one table. Actually, they organize the table. So they organize the table based on the column name, column type, data type, things like that. Now we can also force them. We can also force them to organize the data based on what we think we will be querying on column name. So whenever we put a column name for an index, database organize the table for that column also. Let's say for this one, this is for simple, right? Let's say for this one, if you see ID and name, the database will be organized table, let's say with ID. I can force them to organize the table also by name. By name. Make sure. How? By using index. Indexing meaning organize the table based on that column. Right? Basically, this is how you create index. Create index name, create index on, and then table name you put, like say table put, I'm putting like say bio, and then I'm putting what column I want, what column I want. So if I put this, what it does basically is going to organize the table based on that column. That's all it does. So we don't, like say from our testing point of view, we don't know actually what actually it depends when you create the table, right? You do that when you create the table. We are not create the table, are we? No. Right? So we cannot do anything is there. We have nothing to do. Even the developer has nothing to do with that, because developer does not create the table either. The data analyst, the data architect, data modeler, they create the table. Data modeler, actually, that's his job, to create the table. So they put this index based on different column. Make sense?
Yeah. So for tester, do they ask about indexing?
Yeah, sometimes they ask you what is index, right? So basically, if they ask you what is index is based on a column, we can, if we query the table for that column that is used in the indexing, we can retrieve the data faster. That's all. Whenever we create an index for a column, that means the table is organized based on that column for 100% sure, right? Like I said, database also organize the table anyway, but we can manually tell them, okay, organize the table based on that column also. So we know if we create an index, we know that table is must organize on this column. So if we query that table based on that column, that it will be faster if we have millions of record, right? So that's all. Sometimes they ask you, what is index? Index is a way to organize the table so that we can retrieve the data faster. But you have to understand, like you can retrieve the data faster, but whenever you write the data in the table, it is slower. If you have more index, if you have let's say if you have 10 columns, right? The more index you have is better to retrieve the data, right? Because it's organized. So if you have 10 columns and if you create index on all these 10 columns, will be very fast to retrieve the data. But when you write the data, it will be slow, because every time you insert the data, it has to organize, right? It has to organize. Let's say here in this table example, if you don't have any index, the next data will go under last one, right? Number 6 and Mike, right? Let's say you are inserting a record after number 2. Let's say you are organizing by name, right? You are organizing by name. Let's say you are organizing by name, and you have index in the name, right? Basically, oops. Okay. So if you organize, if you realize, if you put a index in this by name, and if you have another name, like say Amy Jackson, after Amy, you have to put that. So you have to create a space here, and then you have to insert the record here, right after this. So if you create index, you have to delete. Actually, data does not overwrite. They delete the whole record and then reinsert. They temporary, how the database work, they temporary create a data set in the temp table, insert the data and then reinsert them. It's not like like in Excel you are just creating one row there and that insert the data. It doesn't work like that. Whenever whatever you have to insert, after that you copy all the data in a different table and then delete everything from here, insert the record and then insert back all the record from the other. So it takes time. If it's a million records, it takes time. So that's why the more index you create is faster to retrieve the data, but the opposite when you write the data. That's why data warehouse, if you put more index. Why? Because you retrieve the data all the time, data warehouse. You write actually in a daily basis. If you realize in a data warehouse, you don't write more than once in a day, probably once a night or overnight, or once a week or once a month, things like that, right? But you reading the data from a data warehouse always. So you can create multiple index, but in a regular transactional data, OLTP, you do not create more index. That's going to slow the database to write it in there. Make sense?
Yeah.
RD, could you increase the result window also?
No, result I tried actually yesterday. It doesn't work. Result, page setup. Result we are looking yesterday, but we could not do it. Result here, if we do this, actually, it does this, the top one. Yeah, but yeah, it does this only, but the bottom one it cannot do actually. Cannot do anything.
So Arif,
Yeah,
for ETL tester, right?
yeah.
Is it must to know one of the testing tool or having very good knowledge of SQL query is gonna do the job?
See, you don't need to, like say working wise, no. I learn it for my own need. I learn it because I want to move ahead on my career. That's why I learn it. But I actually testing point of view, I never used any tool because testing, like say for requirement wise, like I have to test something. Let me use Informatica. Let me use SSIS, things like that. That's your question. But no, I never used any ETL tool for the testing point of view.
Okay.
But it's good to have a knowledge so that you understand how this thing works. Like you are testing, but if you know how Informatica works, any ETL tool, if you know how this thing works, how the data is pulling, how they are, putting in the staging and then moving in a different place. If you know the tool, is better for you. You will never used that tool for testing, but you will use the knowledge.
Knowledge, right?
So of course it's good to know that I use.
I was curious, Arif, but after like I told you I set up everything and I did like move from one table to even different source, like I was able to do like flat file,
Yeah.
transfer from flat file to database to flat file, all those things. And I really had some confidence, like I really got the feelings of how it works.
Yes.
Not like, as like more you learn is better, but at least like you got the feeling, like not knowing, like when I used to be afraid somebody asked me for this tool and you don't know, but like now if they talk about Informatica, at least I can relate to them, what they're talking about.
Yeah, like
how the
job mapping, those are the things you understand. So this to know this is important, like for you, so that you know how this thing works. But like say testing wise, you'll never be using it. The reason also they don't let you do it. Is because also money, because it goes by per license, like per user. So for the testing, let's say they are doing something Informatica. Now, if you do the same thing and testing, it doesn't make any sense. It defeats the purpose. You have to do it differently, right? So that to make sure they're correct. So if they use Informatica, you are testing using Informatica, doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. Redundant work.
So like I said, I had Informatica before, I had SSIS before, I work in ODI before in the environment. I play with that, the real environment, but testing point of view, I never was able to use it because they don't allow. Like I cannot show them, okay, I tested this using this Informatica and I did this. Why? Doesn't make any sense. Developer is doing it, you are doing it also. Why? You are like duplicating the work, right?
Arifat, the free tools and license one, is it same interface? They do the same thing, or
The
is
same
there
thing,
any
but the
difference?
quality is different, right? Quality
Quality is
different.
okay.
If you want to learn the expo, like I honestly I don't prefer free tool is just because the quality, you know, like say QTP is much more better than Selenium, thousands times better than Selenium QTP. Quality, they are like say Informatica is 100 times faster than like say, there is a free tool, 100% free, Pentaho, Talent, Kettle, Pentaho Kettle is 100% free. BI tool, reporting, everything is free. But then why people is paying thousands of dollars in information? It's faster, it's secure, it's very fast. It's not only
But
that it's better. Better meaning it's faster. Okay, that's why people are paying for it. They're paying like
but
yeah,
what I'm saying, Arifat, the Informatica, the free version, right?
yeah.
Is it like same as the one like enterprise? Is it just for learning purpose,
So
or there
learning
any like
purpose,
interface wise?
it's a little different. Yeah, like say the data that you can move is limited. I think 2,500,000 or something, 205 something.
Oh,
Limited,
okay.
and then some functionality is limited, like monitoring side is limited, like whenever you learning, like say all these transformation rules are same, but the way you monitor is different for the
Okay.
real version. Yeah, of course it will be a little bit different now, but if you know that express edition, then you'll be fine with the real version also. A little bit different though, they have separate workflow monitoring, they have separate module for it, but in express edition they are all together. So learning point of view I think is completely fine. Okay. If you know
Okay.
that, you will be able to know the other one also. That information I have right now, I use in my current, like I use in my current, not testing, like I said, I use it just to play around. If I want to, see something, I do it on my own free time, just to, know or learning point of view, I use it. But testing, I cannot use, I cannot do any production support because I don't have the license for production. Okay.
Did you hear about the cucumber?
Cucumber, I heard, yeah. There is open source tool, right? Is open source you're talking about, right? Side by?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, cucumber, yeah. I mean, those tools are great. I'm not saying this is well, like Selenium is a great tool. Of course, it's a really good tool, Selenium. I mean, but I mean, the this enterprise tool that we have that you pay for it, the quality wise is better. The company, like say, in a bank, it will be very hard for you to find that they are using Selenium. Like investment bank, if you work like some lump sum company. Well, I remember a few years ago, I had an interview in Manhattan, one of the places. They were showing me they are developing a software. All of the software they're using is open source. There's their plan. Everything. It's good. I mean, it's not the bad, but the quality wise, I mean, Informatica is 100 times faster than the regular tool, open source, Pentaho, Talent. Most popular is, I think, open source is right now is Pentaho, and then Talent also is very popular, like Selenium for ETL. But depends what's the load of the data. If you have millions of records, then those tools will be able to handle, but it's going to take whole, like say, it will take probably 6-7 hours to load the data, whereas Informatica is going to take probably half an hour to load the data. Where performance is an issue and supporting is an issue, they use those kind of tool. Okay, if you want to learn those tool, like I said, Informatica or SSIS or ODI, those are the tools. You have to also understand, like say ODI is very popular. Why? Because if you buy the Oracle database, they give you this with a very good discount. It's so much discount that other tool is like almost free. So why not buy the ODI with the same support and everything? SSI, same thing. They have the whole package. Microsoft, They have the whole BI stack. They have the database. They have the whole app language. They have reporting tool. They have the integration tool. Everything is one package. So if you buy everything, they will give you a better deal. That's why company buys it. You know. So Informatica, if you're learning, is good. It will give you a good understanding on ETL testing. Okay.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
So index, you understand now. Index is basically for just organize the data behind the scene. That's all.
Okay.
That's the high level. That's all you're going to tell them. Because like I said, we do not create index. We do not. We only just like deal with index in a way that like joining wise or where clause we can use index in the where clause so that it will be faster. Like say if I have an ID and if I have a name, if I know the ID, I'm going to use the ID in the where clause so then I can retrieve the data faster. That's all. Okay. So joining. So few joining is important that we do mostly use inner join, left join, right join. That's the join actually you'll be using. Inner join, left join. Mostly you will be using this join. Sometimes you would also full join, meaning you retrieving all the data basically, full join. And there is also another join, self join is not useful, is hardly used. And then cross join is rarely used, cross join. So mostly if you understand left join and inner join, then you've all set. But sometimes interview they ask you in general, like, do you know how to use join? What kind of join to use? Tell me about joining. Then you will say, okay, joining, there is inner join, left join, right join, cross join, full join, self join. You can mention all of them. You're going to explain all of them. But if they ask you what join do you use, then you're going to tell mostly I use inner join, left join, or right join. Those are the join actually I mostly use. So in reality, in database testing, those are the join that is actually used. So this let me send you this table query so that you can practice on your own. Yesterday, whatever we talked, are you able to practice those things? You had a chance?
Oh, like
Yeah.
I went for a job and then I came
Okay.
back.
So do this work because as you know, this thing actually all it is about practice.
I usually do it after like at night today, Saturday, Sunday night. Sunday and Monday I usually do this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I send you those data so then you can, just run the whole thing and you will be fine. So here is the thing. See, if we run this, you're not able to see what one thing I can do.
There is one thing in the same place related to the result pane. If you go to the fonts.
Here, you mean? I can do it?
No, in the tools section.
Oh, in the tools section?
Yeah.
Option?
Go to options. Yeah.
And then?
And then over there, if you see where it says text editor on the right hand side,
Text editor here, you mean?
No, same place from where you were doing the font.
Font and color?
Yeah. Now on the right hand side, if you see all the way on the top, the text editor.
Oh.
It has a drop down menu. So.
You mean here, right?
Yeah.
Instead the text.
Text results एटन की हमने नीचे.
Where? I don't see it. Text result. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I think, yeah, good, thank you. I think, yeah, there's the place I think you can do it. Let me run it again, see.
No, like you might need to do restart the management.
Okay, hold on, let me do it. Okay. Yeah, it's working, right? It's a little bigger now, right?
You
Yeah.
you just need to change the database
Yeah.
at the top.
So guys, this thing, as I told you, I show you before, right? How to solve this problem? You use, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You use and then go. You know what go means? Is a transaction, meaning whenever it says go, meaning this is one part. Wherever you put go, that means whatever happened before that, it's like everything is like this is one part. If I put like here, if I put go here, let's say I'm putting go here. That means these three lines is part of a single transaction. These three lines is a block. That's all it's saying. It's a block. So if I put go here, this is one block. If I put go here, this is one block up to here. So if I put, let's say I put go here, that means this is one block, this is another block, this is another block. Okay, we know that, right?
Yeah.
So
You
if I
use one.
like say if I use this, nothing is happening, right? But if I use now this, it will be fine. What happened? It went back now. Oh, it's happening in messes, but result is not happening. Why? Let me see. It just happened now.
So for result also there will be something.
No, this is what it's a text result. This is what we changed actually. Text result for 16. Okay.
It will be the grid. I think so. There's something which says grid. Check it out.
Figure and grid. Let's see. Text result, watch window, business table, database query.
Grid results.
Oh, great results. This one. Oh, could be. Start it again. Yeah. Thank you. Good thing. Now you can see, or should I make it bigger?
No, that's perfect.
Okay. So if I let me open the Microsoft Word. Okay. Let me go through this. Okay. First, then I'm gonna also go to the table. See, inner join mean basically common in both tables, right? You can see those picture, right?
Yeah.
Inner join, this is inner join. I have two table and I'm joining these two table. So this inner join means common in both table. Now this is very important to understand. When I say common in both table means what? Means the column that I'm using in the join, those column, if it is common, is going to show, right? Only those column. The other doesn't have to be common. Those are the important thing. This is the important thing for us to understand whenever we say common. The whole record does not have to be common. The whole record doesn't need to be common. Okay, is the column that I'm using in the join. If that is common in both table, it's going to display, right? Inner join display common record in both table or 2, 3 table, 4 table, whatever. Whenever I'm using inner join, is going to display only common record. Now, common meaning the joining, whatever column I'm using, only this column, if it is common, is going to show. Other column doesn't have to be common, doesn't need to be common, right? Make sense?
So
So the
like
other,
for yeah, go ahead, Hussein.
So those are not common. It's not gonna display.
It's going to display. It's going to show as a null.
Null, yeah, null will.
Null will. But I'm saying, when I say common, it does not mean the whole record has to be common.
Whole record. Okay.
Let's say very simple. Let me open an Excel.
Right, so it will be like that. I will like just this. For example, two table has the name column. All right, and if like let's say for example, say in one table there's Said over there, and the other table Said over there too. Then if they both match, and that's the only record they show.
Yeah, let's say I have these three record, right? If I if I have this, let's say I'm having this, right? City, and if I put here if I put this is one table, right? Let's say I have another table similar I have another table, and if I have, let's say here I have now if this table, if I join just by ID, let's say I'm joining just by ID, right? I'm joining by ID, right? Now these three table, they are common in both tables, right? So if inner join is going to show the whole thing.
Whole table.
Whole thing is going to show. Okay, that's all it is meaning. But whenever the record is not common, it's just going to show null. That's all. But the other thing is, if I use, let's say, by ID and also by name, let's say I'm using also name, right? I'm also using name as a joining. Now name, if you realize what I have common, if I don't have any common, then it's not going to show. If I use also name, look, nothing is common, right? Nothing is common. It's not going to show any name. Nothing. This record is going to show nothing. If I put here my, then only this record is I'm going to see. Only this record I'm going to see, because I am using ID and name in a joining. But if you see these two, these are the only thing that is common in both tables, right? So he's going to show only one record, which is this one, inner join. So important first thing is whatever is common. Second thing is to understand whatever I'm using in the join, those has to be common. Let's say if I have this here, Manhattan, still is going to show. Still is going to show, right? Why? Because I'm using only these two as a joining. I'm using these two, right? This is what I'm using in the joining, right? This is what I'm using in the joining. These are common, so it's going to show. That's all. Okay. This is
Bronx and Manhattan. They're not common, so it's going to display it's going to display null.
Null. It's going to display the null. Okay. So those are the important part here to understand that what a common meaning what? Common meaning in the joining after on, whatever column I'm using, I'm going to look if this is common or not. If this is common, it's going to show. If this is not common, it's not going to show. That's all. Okay. We're going to go through the example. I just want you to theoretically, we just want to, understand this concept. And left join meaning left table is going to show everything. Right table is not going to show anything unless if there is a common meaning. Left join, that's all we need to like for us to memorize. Like say if we forget what it is, left join we will know is going to show only data in the left table. That's it. That's all we need to know. Now, if there is a data also in the right table, it's going to show, right? But it's not showing because it is in the right table also. It's showing because in the left table also. So whenever we use left join, all the data from the left table is going to show. Right table, there are no worry. Don't worry about right table. Only left table is going to show, right? Make sense? Because see, this record is also exists in the right table. So we can say that data also showing from right table, but those data also exist in the left table, right? So
it doesn't then
data only from the left table is showing, not from the right table actually, right? Only if it exists in there.
okay.
So left join display the data only from left join. Okay. Right join, same thing. Okay, right join, same thing. I mean, same thing means completely opposite. Same and completely opposite. Only right table. Okay. Now see, this is a common place. There is a way to disregard this one if you don't want to see this. There is a way. I'll talk about this. It's called exclusion. Now this is a full join. Okay, full join meaning display the data from the both table. That's all. Now see, if you realize, this is a very important thing to understand that I just mentioned exclusion. Now I want to see only the left table, right? So I use left join, fine. Now if data exists on the right table, then it also show, but this common part I don't want to show. Let's say I want to see the data only exists in the left table. If anything is common, I don't want to see. Okay, do you understand this thing? What do we want trying to do?
Right.
Like I have a data in the left table, I have a data in the right table. Now joining wise, I don't want to see any data. Oh shoot, I thought I'm not recording. Okay, good. So I don't want to see the data that doesn't exist in there also. Okay, so only show me the data only in the left table, basically. That's all I'm saying. If anything exists on the right table, I don't want to see. Okay, so if you realize, if you like theoretically, if you understand, if I'm joining something, right? I'm joining something. Let's say I'm joining with ID. So left, I'm doing table A, left join table B on table A, table A dot ID is equal to table B dot ID, right? That's all I'm doing. Now this is common in both places. So if I do this in the where clause, if I put where ID here is null, this part ID is null. Okay, this is one thing. ID is not null. What does that mean? If I joining with both, you will understand. We're going to go through this. If I join in both, and if I put, I'm joining with ID, right? So if I put where this table ID is null or this table ID is not null, it's two different things, right?
Yes.
So if I use this, then I cannot see this. I'm gonna, like I said, going through the example, then you understand. But what to show you picture wise, that I don't want to see this part. That's what I'm saying. I want to see only this part. And I'm
Like you can use that is null command over there.
the where clause. In the where clause.
Yeah, where clause where the data is null.
Yes.
And don't show it like
right.
that.
Right. So that's all basically like to see in the picture wise. Let's quickly take a look this thing. Okay. So I have here in the main table, I have 5 people, right? Let's say I have 5 people. Okay. This, can you see this whole? Let me do 2. You can see this thing clearly now.
Yeah.
Picture. Okay. So let's understand this first. If I do inner join, why is order by 2? Hold on, that's why it's upside down. If I do inner join, right? So let's see if we understand it first. If I do inner joining using by ID, so I have 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3, right? So he's going to show me these 3, right? Right? So let's do this one then. I'm putting select all from student name A, inner join bio B on A.id is equal to B.id, right? Yeah. So it's going to show only 3 records. Let's do this one. Let's do one thing. Let's run it here. 3 things together, so then we can see. Okay, here, good. So what we can see this 1, 2, 3, right? This from the first table, and the same 1, 2, 3, and this from the second table.
Okay.
Make sense? So
It brings all the things which are common in both tables.
yes, that's all it is showing. That's all it is showing. Um, um, Now, one more thing we can do just for our understanding. Let's do one thing. Marks in one of the table. If we insert, hold on, let me do one more thing. Bio, where's the bio table? Give me 1 second. Marks. Here I can put, let me put name. If I do this, what I have common here, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. John, JCN, John, JCN.
Hey, bye. I need a 5-minute break. I need to take medication. Okay.
Yeah, take it there.
Yeah, I'll take a 5 minutes, Hassan. Give me 1 second, okay? I'll take 5 minutes break too. Okay. Yeah, guys, take a 5 minutes break then. Hassan, side by?
Yeah.
Okay, take a 5 minutes break then.
Thank you.
What do you mean it is not? Okay. So now if I do this, I will have a better understanding. Okay, JCN, good. Now let me change this. Okay, good. Now if we do this, now we'll have better understanding. Okay, good. So this is matching fine. Yeah, guys, take 5 minutes break, then we're going to continue talking from here. guys are there?
Yeah, man.
Hello?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so Hassan is there?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay. Said by the database wise, the ETL, the logic, ETL concept, architecture, I mean, this is a very important question in the interview. They ask you what is the architecture of data warehouse? Was that many source, staging, data mart,
Hmm.
I mean, fact dimension table. You understand those concepts clearly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those very important. Like, as you said, sometimes if you can read some documents at work, on the website, some article,
Hmm.
data warehouse is very important. Like it will make you understand, like clear your concept, basically. If you read some blog, data warehouse, some research kind of paper, you will find some the white paper. It will be very helpful for you. So try to read those. And the more concept, if his concept is clear, testing part is not actually hard though. The concept is important, to understand like the how this thing work basically. That's all.
Okay.
Hassan bhai, if you are there, let us know. Okay, we're just waiting. Working today, Said bhai, also?
No, no.
Oh, you off today?
Only, yeah, I'm off Sunday, Monday.
Oh, okay, good.
Sunday, Monday, and Friday. These are the days I'm off. So I was like discussing with somebody in the company related to mentioning the, that thing, mentioning the company name as Cablevision and stating that position as a QA tester.
Yeah.
So according to them, we can do that. There's no problem with that. But he said like sometimes third party verification. If some companies do that, usually they require the position also. So what they do, they send a fax letter or they send a fax to us, and then we need to provide all those things. But it's not necessary. It says like sometimes.
Yeah. What happened is, Said bhai, this is true. Sometimes this kind of thing happens. Let me tell you what happened one time. There was like a student that was getting a job, and then I show my reference also. So I worked one time in K-Force company. Okay, K-Force long time ago. So I show them that I'm working as a lead and everything. But the company that he was hired also K-Force. So they checked my reference and they found out that I work for them, but the time that I show is not, the time doesn't match. So it was a problem. So what I'm saying is these kind of things happens. This is true. What he said actually is correct. Third company, sometimes they check and then they verify those information. That is completely correct. But the verification is not like, for my experience that I see also in my current job, this is what also happened. The verification that happens is not like calling the HR and find out like if you work there or who was your manager, give me his manager number, I want to talk to him. Not
No. It's not like that. He was telling me let's say he said that our company follow let's say if somebody apply and they mention their employer name and stuff.
yeah.
What they do they send it to a third party.
Yeah.
The third party do the verification on their behalf.
Yes,
They will
that is correct.
send a yeah, they will send a letter to the employer, like either or, like let's say if your name is mentioned, they might call you and they will ask you like to that where we are sending the fax and stuff, and then you need to like fill that out. And but usually it goes through the contact person name, whatever the person name you mentioned.
Yes, this thing, first of all, third party verification, that is true. Nowadays, they always verify by third party. That is true. But if bad luck happens, because we have to take
Right,
the chances, there is no
right,
other
right,
option.
right.
Because you have to show them that you work like
Hmm.
5 6 hours. So you have to give them a company name. You have to, there is no other option, right?
Hmm.
So it's not that there is no way that you cannot give that. So what happens actually? Sometimes they check. I mean, they check. Sometimes they find out. Some find out and they report. I mean, always they'll find out. They'll report, but then they don't worry about like what happened in the past. If your current job is actually is okay, then it's fine.
Hmm. Okay,
So we have to
and
take this chance. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, one more thing I was like about to ask you, like as before 2009, I was in Pakistan, right?
Yeah.
So like I have a company over there uh, where I do testing also for them. At
Okay.
that time, like we don't document those things, but as a user, I do testing for one of the software. Okay, the internal software. So we can put that thing also.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
Like,
course. Of course. They give
and
you a check, a paycheck.
usually over there, yeah, like I had for them, like there's no problem. I can just call them and get any kind of
No, no, no.
experience
That you
letter.
don't need. I'm saying they used to pay you by check or like personal check or something.
Yeah, like they deposit the money in the account, but the thing is like it's in Pakistan, not over here. So
Okay. No, that's okay. I mean, you can show the location is here. What happens is in the resume,
no,
there's two things.
uh,
Whatever you
mhm.
put in the resume, they will send you another form to fill out for verification. It's two things. So in the
Okay.
resume and the job verification, it goes to different places, right? So it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be matched because in the resume you show the client name, who you working for. But
no,
in the
but
verification, you put the name that you received the check from. Okay,
but the thing is, like I was at that time, I was in Pakistan. I was not here.
that's okay. That's not a problem. You mean the ID could show that you have the no other address?
No, the thing is, like if you see my resume,
Yeah.
till 2009, I have all the experience from Pakistan.
Okay.
After 2009, when I came over here,
Yeah.
there's a gap of like 1 or 2 years, and after that, I got that cable vision job in 2012.
Okay. Now,
So,
if this happens,
what?
we tell them you work like 1099. That means they will pay you check in your name. Okay, it's
Mhm.
not documented. Okay,
Oh, okay.
It's not documented unless the company pay you on W-2. It doesn't get documented. So
Mhm.
if they pay you
Okay.
in your name directly, then
Mhm.
there will no company name show or anything like that. Okay, you work on
Oh, okay.
1099.
So, how we will go through with that? And one more thing I need to ask you, like, can we do like that, like, for cable vision? Like, I started as tech support and then I internally transferred to the QA department. Can we do like that
No,
too?
you just was doing software testing there since the beginning. You do
Okay, all
software
right.
testing.
Since the beginning. All right.
Yeah.
So, like, we will
Now
go through
another
with that.
thing here, aside by this is the thing I want to talk to you. Since you have
Mhm.
friends, if you give them like your friends, the other people that who came to me also, there will be the best option. Like say if you show anyone of your friend that is a lead or your manager as a phone number wise. Okay.
We can go with the Sunny Bay because Sunny Bay know like how to handle the stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, that I can do. That also I can do. My phone number. But I'm just saying, if you,
Yeah, like as a lead, like a second reference.
yeah.
like we can go with the Sunny Bay because Sunny Bay can easily like handle the situation.
Yes.
I'm not sure about those guys. Like they get disturbed. Sometimes like they get confused or
Okay.
because that's the first time. Sunny Bay, like I know, like he can handle it
Yeah,
easily.
Sunny Bhai can do one. I have that's not a problem. Then I also one myself, and then I'll get Sunny Bhai. That's okay too. But I have other people also. That's not a problem. That's fine about it. Hassan Bhai, are you there?
Yes, Arif.
Oh, okay, okay. We are just waiting for you.
Or like I think so. We have like Sunny Bay's friend Mamoon. We can give his thing to.
In
He's
Virginia,
in the
you,
field,
you
right?
know him?
Like yeah, just like hi, hello. Like I met him like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay, okay. He's my friend. He's my friend for like 20 years.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
good.
we are. Sunny Bhai made him after that. He's my very good friend. 20 years.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he recently moved to Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very happy over there. Virginia is a good life. I go there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I have some friends there, and Virginia life actually I like. You guys, I mean, you live in Long Island, so you guys have a good life there too.
Mm-hmm.
But if we live in the city, like ours, it's messed up. Like
No,
my
like
neighborhood, oh, don't tell me, it's really bad. So many black folks there. These people make like too many noises, especially summertime. Oh, forget it. They make loud music. Then the street is a big problem. Spanish, any neighborhood, if you live, I see Spanish or black neighborhood is a messed up. It's really messed
you know, like right, like one of my neighbors is black, and they are so quiet. I don't know why, but they're so quiet.
up.
I didn't hear anything from them.
Yeah.
It's been like two
So,
and
Arif,
a
are
half
you
years.
serious about moving to Virginia or
Moving
just
to
for?
Virginia, I want to move to Virginia. I have a
Oh,
bad
you're
luck,
serious.
this job that I started. I had a job, full-time job in what do you call that? College board. The education that they do the SET, ACT, all these
Mhm.
here, like any standard exam that they do.
Right, right.
He said those board in head office in Virginia. I mean, not I don't know. Sorry, not the head office. They have a office there in Virginia, Reston. I had an interview there. I went there. Everything was nice, but they took a little longer to offer me. By the time I already started, like I think a week or a couple of weeks later, they offered me. So I already started here in New York. So if they would offer me there, I would definitely. My plan was actually to go there because I
Mm-hmm.
like the office. They had an office. If you go there in the office area, you'll notice that. I mean, you will realize that is a like a private building. I mean, like apartment building, like few apartment building. It's so quiet, and they have parking, free parking, like underneath the building. In the basement, they have a free parking for employee, and then it's so nice. The like outside of this building, they have like I think 4 or 5 buildings. They're a big building, and then they have like this funny thing happened. I went there and I was looking for a
Mm-hmm.
parking, so I couldn't find a parking. I mean, in there, I mean, I found a parking spot. I went inside, and then I came out because I could not. I parked, and then I wanted to pay, but I don't see any place to get the ticket or anything. So I was driving around. I said, "What is the ticket place?" So I was
Mm-hmm.
worried, and I came out from the parking spot. I came out, and then I was waiting outside. So there is a guy passing by. I said, "Where can I find parking?" And he gave me a smile. It's like you are right in front of the parking, and you're asking. So he said, "Right there." I said, "Where do I pay?" Then right away he said, "You from New York, right?" I said, "Yes." And then he's an Indian guy, so he said, "Yeah, okay." So I was talking to him, then he said, "Yeah, I used to live in there too. This is the parking, it's free. You don't have to pay anything." I was like, "Oh shoot!" So it's so like nice environment. You know, I really liked it. I miss that place. So it's a bad luck. Like, but
What about your experience in Pennsylvania? Like, how was
Pennsylvania
it?
actually, I don't have good experience because Pennsylvania, the city itself is a lot of these black folks and Spanish
Mhm.
neighborhood in the downtown main city, like say Manhattan, right? There
Mm-hmm.
is a really bad neighborhood they have. The only place is good is the city. Where is the city hall? The financial district actually. It is called JFK Boulevard, I think, 1500 something.
Mhm.
They have few big building. This is the only place is good. If you walk from that place, like say 10 minutes walk, just walk 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Really messed up neighborhood. At night you cannot walk there. It's so dangerous.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
but if you drive like say Long Island and Manhattan, if you drive like 45
Mhm.
minutes an hour, there is a place called Germantown. It's
Mhm.
excellent place. Like same like say Long Island. It's, people live there. And people also comes from Jersey. Jersey is very close from there. So if you live
So,
in the city
you
downtown,
work in Philadelphia?
Philly, downtown,
Okay.
right in the downtown. If you go there, the biggest building you see from highway, the glass building in Philadelphia, there's the Comcast building. That's the building I used to work. There are few buildings there, but like I said, in the neighborhood is in the city. Financial district is very nice. It's good buildings and everything, but at night, like in nearby street, is very dangerous. Realize this in the downtown area. I had a one bedroom apartment for $1,100. How cheap it is in downtown?
Really?
Is that cheap? It's
Eleven.
because the neighborhood is so messed up. It was like 15 plus minutes walking from my workplace, like 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes, 15 some minutes. I worked there. From my work, in the break time, I wanted to see the apartment. I was looking to find a place. I worked a little. I was so happy. I said, wow, I'm going to live right there, working from work. And then it's 1100. It's nice, also not is good apartment. And then I realized because then I was asked talking to my worker at work. He said, forget it. You cannot you have to go and then stay home and then come back in the morning. You cannot even go anywhere. It's that bad neighborhood. And then I went few times just to see, and I realized that after that it is Spanish people, too many like bomb type people that are walking on the street, and they're looking at you, and like you'll see something is wrong. Is that bad? It's, because also the Philadelphia is one of the 13 states that whenever there is a like black people free, and they have a like settlement there. That's why too many people are there. Also in Washington D.C., same reason. In the city itself, is a lot of black people lives there, and the neighborhood is really bad on this neighborhood. Same thing. Yeah. But Virginia,
Yeah, but I heard like those Malvern side and the other side, the King of Prussia and stuff. Those are good areas.
very nice area. King of Prussia is very nice area. King of Prussia. That's what I'm saying. City itself is bad, but if you drive outside, is very nice. King of Prussia is very nice. And then, like I said, Germantown is a rich area. Germantown is a rich area actually.
Oh, okay.
And they used to come another Jersey is very close, like half an hour from there.
Mhm.
It's very nice. Yeah, I mean city not nice except the financial area, but other place is very nice. There's a lot of like our Desi people there also lives. Okay, let's talk then. No. Okay, so all this see if you can see this joining, I have 4 query that I put it together here, 4 set. So then we can go through one by one. This is my main set. Okay, this thing. This is one table and this is another table. I'm joining these two table basically. This table and this table. These two table I'm joining. This one I'm joining. Now this third query I'm joining with only ID. I'm using only ID. This ID I'm using. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 common. So he's going to show 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other record, as you can see, some are matching, some are not matching. So it's showing this, right?
Right.
And the last fourth query, I'm using two things as a joining, ID and name. So if you see
Name, right.
ID and name, here I have 3 ID common, but name I have only 2 common, John and Amy. See, John and
Right.
Amy. This is the 2 is common, John and Amy. This is not common, so it's not showing here. Okay,
Correct.
so basically it's gonna show you only based on the column that you are using on the join. See, I'm using here 2 column. One is name and one is ID. I can use 4 or 5 column if I want to. Okay.
Correct.
Now what I'm using here and right. So it's showing me only two column because two are common, right?
Yeah, both has to be true.
Both has to be true. Now let's say this 1 and 3 ID I have, if you realize ID I have 1 2 3 1 2 3 common, right? But name I have only 2 common, right? No, 2 common. That's why it's showing only 2, right?
Okay, I bet if you use the or
This
clause
is I'm
over
going right
there.
now. If I use or, right? Then realize, see what happened.
Either one.
See? Now it's showing
And it will be the
same
same
like
thing.
before.
Same thing like before, right?
Because either one has to be true. If it's true, it doesn't even go there. If it's true, if this is true, it does not even check this one. Okay, you have to
Correct.
understand this thing. Or meaning, like say if I'm putting this or something else, I'm putting or few more conditions. Either one has to be true at least. If this is true, it does not even check here. It doesn't even go there. The computer, the system, database engine doesn't even check this because it's not necessary. If this is true, then it's fine. This one has to be true. So that's all it does. So this is true. It's not checking the next one. So it's showing this one. So this is very important. Whenever you explain the axiom, whenever you explain inner join, make sure you said whatever the common record are displaying, but we have to understand here, we have to make sure that the common meaning whatever we are using in a join condition, whatever the column we are using in a join condition, based on that common record. Mention this is important. Don't just mention common record. Mention whatever the column name we are using in the join. It could be one or more than one. Based on those, it means common.
It will be common, right?
This is very important to understand. Okay. All right. Clear on this one?
So, yeah,
Okay.
clear on it.
All right.
Same thing on the left join, right?
Yeah, left join. Let's do left join. Okay. Left join. So left join we do first 3. I'm running. See left join here. See, is showing everything from the left table. As you can see, this is what I have in the left table, right? ID and name, everything is the left table is showing. Okay, right table it is showing. Also, whatever is there is showing. Whatever is not there, it is showing null, right? 4 and 5. If you realize, right table is 4 and 5 is not there. I have 1, 2, 3. They're showing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, the name is also different, but still showing one after another, right? Marks is not in the left table. I don't have right table showing, but in the left table is going to show everything. 4, 5 is showing. 4, 5 is showing, right? The right table I don't have 4, 5. It's showing null. I don't have any name showing null. I don't have any mark showing null. So whatever is not there, showing null. So we can say easily that on the left join we can see only the data from the left table. That's all. Right table, if it is there, it's going to show. If it's not there, it shows a null. Make sense?
Yes.
Now this is comes the fun part. Look, this is what happened. Now I want to see here. Look, this is 2 things. This is very important in ETL testing. Okay, left join. If these 2 tables would be same, if 2 tables are the same, if you use left join or right join, it's going to show the same amount of that record, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Right. Now in the right table, I have this is record is missing in the right table, right? So I want to see the record that is missing in the right table. That is missing in the right table. This is left table, last 2 column. Last.
We can use the where clause.
So
Yeah, where
clause
clause
if I put this, look, where I put ID, where b dot ID is, look, null. If I put null, what it does?
Just the null one.
What does that mean? That means this record is missing in the right table.
Missing.
Right? And then look, this is not null. I'm putting is not null. What that means? Look, this is what I was telling you before.
This is the
exclusion.
This
is the thing that I was telling you before. See, I want to see only left table, right? Only left table is showing me. That is, I have. What if there is any common there? It's not showing, right? Do you understand this point? this is, hold on, let's go there again. See, this is what that means. That means this record I don't have on the right table. That's all, right? I don't have on the right table. I don't. How can I cancel those records? I don't want to see this record. I don't want to see this record. Right? So I put here on the right table, say ID is null. So I put ID is null. I just put in the ID is null, right? So it's going to show me those record only, right? Only those record, right? Only those record is showing me. And if you look the opposite, I just put not here and I'm negating it, right? Not.
So it will not show you the null records with the not clause.
Let me do this. Okay. An important thing. What I put here, if you see, I put here from the right table is not null. Right? It's not null. What is showing me? Look, just it is showing me only the first three records that exist only in the left table. In the right table, if it does not exist, it's not showing. In the right table, if it does not exist, it's not showing. Right? It's showing only the record from the left table. Makes sense or not? Is it a matter of understanding? It's important concept for our ETL testing. If we compare two tables, left table and right table, let's say I'm copying a table from one database to another database. A manager is telling me make sure those tables are same. This is actually what happens, what we do. Whenever for table balancing, we do that. Whenever, in testing is completed in QA testing is completed, done, and the testing the UAT is done. Now we are copying the data from QA to production. Right? Just copy data. So whatever data we have in QA, we should have the same data in production, right? So I have a table in QA, I have a table in production. Let's compare it. So if these two tables are same, then I should not see any null. Should I? No.
No.
In the joining, I'm going to use all the column name. Right now I have two columns, but I have, let's say 15 columns. I'm going to use all these 15 columns in the joining. And then I should not have anything null in left table or right table. I should not have anything, right? If I use this condition is null, right? Then it's showing me only what is null, right? Then it's showing me only what is null, right? It's showing me only what is null here, right? But if the table is same, then I should not see something like that. Make sense?
Yes, I will.
If the table is same, I should not see null because it's the same table. Why should I see null? So it could be null on the right table or it could be null on the left table also. Right? It could be null on the left table also. So either way, in either table, I should not see any null. This is how I do table balancing. I hope you remember table balancing testing. Make sure whatever I have data in table A, I have the same data in table B. So I'm going to join using all the column and I'll just put in the condition where clause, I'm going to put where either BID is null or AID is null, either way, right? Or A.ID is null, right? I should not see anything, technically. Make sense? I should not say anything.
Okay.
But here I'm seeing that means the table are not same. So this is an important, very important concept for table balancing testing. Left join. This is what actually we always do this testing. We join two table, left join, and then I put this whatever I'm using the joining, I'm putting it as a null. I want to see if there is a null. If they are same, there should be a null column basically, right? Unless the column is already null in also left table. That's different. That's different, right? Let's say this name is null. That's different. Like if it's left table I have null, the right table I have null. That's different. But I'm saying recording wise, I should not say any null. right?
Okay.
It is very important
So
concept.
we can use the same scenario. Uh, we can use the same we can use right join in the table balancing also.
Yeah, we can do
Same
the same.
scenario, right?
Yeah, we do use the same thing actually. We do use the same thing. We do both. We have to make sure that either way is not showing any null. Asama, you understand this concept because they ask you in the interview.
Yeah, Arif.
Okay, it's important, very important concept. As you realize now it's only 3-4 record you see, okay, is there, but you'll see
Right.
like thousands of record, millions of record you'll see. Okay,
Right.
column is
So
like
let's say
column.
if somebody asks you like what joins you can do or like what you do in the joining, you can say that inner join, left joins, and right joins. And if they said like where do you use most of the time, then you can give them any one of those example like we use in the table balancing.
Yes, table balancing. Like if you need to compare two tables,
Right. Right.
I supposed to have the same tables. Like say I'm
Mm-hmm.
copying one table from one database to another database.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can do this. Now here is another thing. If this table is not in the same database, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, it has to be the same database. If
Mm-hmm.
one table is, let's say, Oracle database, another table is in SQL Server, or even in SQL Server, but it's two different databases, then you cannot do this direct join. You cannot do that.
Okay.
Okay. So what do we do? And in that case, we can write some regular query like group by count, like aggregation count. Select all from
Mm-hmm.
this table count, group by this. Let's say I'm writing like 5-6 different query and getting the output and put it in Excel. Then I'm doing the
Mm-hmm.
same, running the same query with that database and getting the output. Like say, copying this whole thing, right? Copying the whole thing, putting in the Excel, and then compare them.
Right.
Okay, high level counter
Okay.
basically.
So with the joining will only work internally, like in a one particular database. It
In
will
one
not
database,
be
both table has to be in
yeah
one database.
yeah.
All the table,
It will need to go
yeah.
all the tables. Sorry.
Whatever in the joining.
Okay.
Okay.
But Arif, source to target compares when you're comparing source to target. How then you're gonna if the data is coming from different database? How
Usually you put them in the staging, right? You put them in the
right?
staging. So staging, you have the data. From the staging, you compare with the data mart like fact dimension table. You compare from the staging. And another thing, if it comes from the source, is a text file. Let's say text file, right? Text file or XML file or whatever or table. So you extract those data and create a table as an external table in the database and then compare it there. Let's say you have a text file. So you can upload those text file in the database and then compare them.
Oh, okay.
Like say ETL Informatica is pulling the text file in the database, right? In the table. Done. Now you have the text file. So you can also export those record. Import those record in the database and then compare them, writing the query.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Arabic.
Okay.
Okay, and Arabic.
That's an important question because if they ask you how do you compare a text file,
it is an important question.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you compare? You have text file. Okay, now you imported that to your target. So now how do you compare that your target and your text file are the same? I mean, they have the same data, same count.
Yeah.
So in that regard, you can say that you import that text file to your database, target table, database, and then compare.
Yes.
State table. Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Arabic inner self join. Now, what's the practical example for that? Usually, if it used a lot or not?
I don't use it. No, it's not used. Database testing. Database testing could be useful. Data warehouse testing, no, I don't use those. But practical use was what it does. Basically, the purpose of self-join is you are comparing one column with another column in the same table, or one column with the same column in the same table. Like you can join one column with another column, or the one column with the same column in the same table. Self-join, basically you are joining 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns from the same table. Now, one thing that is a good example to understand is like hierarchy. Let's say if you have a manager and employee, let's say you have a CEO, CTO, vice president, director, manager, employee, clerical job, all this hierarchy you have. If you want to see who is working under who, then you are joining with the same column with another column, basically. That's one thing. If they ask you, like sometimes I also ask, they ask me in self-join. I said this is what it is. I explain to them. Self-join meaning you are joining one column or more than one column in the same table with another column. That's joining. But in the ETL testing, actually I don't use it. I don't use it in ETL testing. There is no places that I find that I can use the self-join. Okay.
So in the database testing, like as a manual tester, if they ask us like you do that in your database testing, what we will say, we don't use it,
Explanation, like if there is a hierarchy that, let's say, if a
then we can go with that, right?
manager
Because everywhere, like I get the same example, like it's just to explain the
hierarchy, basically this is what it
Yeah.
is for. That's the purpose of it, hierarchy. That is the purpose of
Okay.
self-join, hierarchy. So I mean, they also ask me like, do you use, because I think they wants to know if I'm faking them or not. Because in ETL testing, I don't use self-join. There is no way to use self-join, no purpose of using self-join in ETL testing.
Mhm.
Okay, because it's a hierarchy testing, and in ETL testing, it's all like data validation. Basically, it's no comparison here for the same table. You're comparing table from one to another. It's no comparison for in the same table. So probably that's why they ask. But I explain to them what I do. Actually, I explain to them this is what subjoin is. But in ETL testing, actually, I don't use subjoin. So okay.
Arifai,
All right.
again, sorry, to elaborate a little bit more on subjoining. When you say hierarchy in a table, you mean, let's say you have supervisor, you have manager, then you have employee. You
Yeah.
mean that hierarchy?
Yes. Yes. That hierarchy.
Okay.
Right, and I remember one more thing, like when I was discussing with somebody, like the data extraction tools. Okay, any one of them, like, do you know, like, which one is the most popular?
Informatica, market leader,
Medica.
number one. It's like
Okay.
it's not number one. Actually, it's number 1, 2, 3, and then everything else start from number 4. Is that popular?
Okay.
Yeah. And if you know Informatica, just Informatica, you make,
Mhm.
like, I would say, at least 150. That's minimum.
Okay.
Breaking up, Arifai. Sorry, what you said?
If you know Informatica, you make at least 150. Okay. Is a very good tool. It's because the financial industry use Informatica. Rich
Okay.
company. What I mean by it's rich company.
Mhm.
They use Informatica. Is excellent tool, best tool for data extraction. There is some other tool is also very good, like ODI, the Oracle Data Integrator is very popular also. But there is another tool, SSIS, SQL Server is very good tool. But best tool is Informatica to learn. For the job wise, if you can move on, then learn Informatica. You don't need to learn anything else basically. If you learn Informatica,
So Informatica, Arifai, basically those that developer they use it, right?
developer. We don't know. Testing point, we don't use it. No, developer.
So knowing that, I know the tools that you still play like, let's say 10-20% in that job, but rest is your deep understanding of the data,
Yes. Yes.
right? You have to have really good understanding of the database in order for you to become a developer.
That good understanding meaning, see, here is the thing. Let's say very simple. I'm giving you a real example. Let's say the other day I walk into my developer desk. Then he was, doing something. I see in the desktop. He was browsing how to trim, like from the date function, how to trim the like the minute, second, and everything. He wants to see only year, month, and day. He does not want to see time, minute, and second. Let's say I'm just giving you the example. So I think you know that, or you can browse it and you can find it. You can do it on your own too. right?
Yeah.
So is the understanding how to solve the problem. It's not memorizing how to solve the problem. Okay. He's a developer. He knows a lot. He's a excellent guy and all these things. Then how come he's doing this simple thing, well? But
No,
he
like
knows how to
Arbe,
solve. His concept
that's
is clear, right?
yeah, that's the thing. Like
That's the thing.
we cannot learn everything, or like
Memorizing everything.
we cannot remember every syntax. Like definitely sometime like we need to go through with that.
Yeah.
So like right now, if you just ask like what's the date function,
Yeah.
we know a little bit because we are studying. But if you ask us after like an year or two, if we are not using it, definitely we also need to search for Google.
Yeah.
So, but at least like we know like that's the function which we need to search.
Yeah, and then a couple months ago, myself and developer was like testing something together. So he was sitting next to me, and then he was asking me, Moment, how do you take only the first four character from the string? In SQL Server is a left thing, right?
Yeah.
Left, we take the four. He doesn't know that. What's that mean? He's a dumb? No. See, I told him left using the left function. Right away, he was able to do it because he has the understanding concept of left, and then I put whatever I need to do, and then just comma and four. So this is what I'm saying that it's not whenever we see a developer, he knows everything of this. No, his experience is more, his concept is more basically. Experience is more, his concept is clear. Okay, better concept. He'll study more. That's all. That's why. So if you understand something, not like memorizing, not like doing it, if you know how to do it, you have to more like puts a time to understand it. Solving a problem, like I said, is easy once you understand the concept.
I
Anything.
think that's what it is. Nowadays, the hiring manager wants to know if you really can do the job, if you know how to do it. That's what they want to find out.
Yes, that's all. They will ask you the process basically. They will not ask you, they will not tell you, write a query, do this right now. They will
Yeah.
not. They will tell how do you solve it. Then you explain, this is what I do. You cannot memorize. There is so many transformation rules. There is probably 40, around 30 plus 40 transformation rules plus scripting language. You cannot remember all of it. You just need to understand how to solve it. Like one thing that I think I have told you before, I had a BB scripting project before. I did everything on my own, and I had zero knowledge on BB scripting, zero knowledge absolutely. But it's a very good big project I did. Just because of the understanding of the programming language basically. I had other programming languages. I have Visual Basic and C++, Java knowledge. That's why I was able to do it. So if your concept is clear, this thing will come very easy. So that's why I always try to understand like this thing. And if you just look at this thing and that's it done, no, you have to practice, understand, different way of practice, then you actually understand how this thing works. So another join, let's just quickly talk. What is the full join and cross join? Okay. So what full join does, it show you record from both tables anyway, regardless of joining. Okay, regardless of matching or not matching. Okay, just full join, full outer join.
So, Arbe, what's the purpose of the full join?
Purpose is like if you want to create a set from both for multiple tables and creating that's one set and then compare with something else probably. If you have a three table, you're putting in one set and then subtracting, let's say table A, table B, table C. You're creating one set. Now you are subtracting, intersecting, except using what I don't have in table A, what I don't have table B, what I don't have in table C. Like creating a data set from multiple table. Creating a data set from multiple table. That's the whole purpose. Joining also the same purpose. Now inner join, left join, creating a data set. If that's the option, if you realize, inner join give you the common, left join will give you the only left table, right table no, and the right table will give you on the right. Full join will give you from the both table. Those are the option actually, right? To creating a data set from multiple table. And the cross join also another thing. Cross join, what it does, it full join, it will give you data from both tables. That's it. But cross join is different. It give you data from both table. But what it also does is This is what actually it does. Let me just quickly show. See, this one, you have 3 records, right? Here, 3 records. This one record will join with all these 5 records here. And then this second record will join with all this record here. And then third one will join with only all these records. So let's just see this one. Select all from bio. This is what happened. Do you see this what happened here? Let me show you. Oops, hold on. What happened? This is a cross join. I have 1, 2, 3 here, right? And I have here I have 4 record. How many record? 5 record. Here I have 3 record. So if you realize, see this first one, right? 1 John and 88. 1 John and 88, right? Joining. See, this is the first record of the first table, right? This is joining with all these 5 record here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? All this record is joining. These guys.
Arbe is 4 records or 5 records?
4 record. 4 record. I think I'm missing number 4 here. 4 record. 4.
That's why I got confused when you said 5 records. I was like, saying, I'm seeing 4.
Yeah. So here, if you realize, this is my table 1, table A. Table A, I have this 1 John and 88. So I have 1 John and 88. I have this one 4 times. Why? Because this record will join with all these 4 records. See, it's joining one by one all these 4 records. Same thing. This is the second record. Second record will joining with all this record again. So all it does, I'm saying, each record from table A is going to join with all the record of the other table. That's cross join. All the record. There's actually using mathematics. We don't use it in normally. Mathematics is called permutation combination. If they have some kinds of calculation in permutation combination, then they use this cross join. Regular, like we don't. I mean, I never use it actually. Working wise, never use this one. Okay. So we just need to know if they ask you cross join for. If I join, let's say table A and table B, from table A, each record will join with all the other record from table B. But here, if you realize the cross join, we are not using any joining condition. The cross join doesn't use any joining condition. Why? Because he's joining with all the record anyway, right? Regardless of the common or non-common. It's nothing to do with common or uncommon. He's joining with all the record. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's it basically. Full join is going to give you the record from both table, all the record.
So Arif bhai, when you say inner join and outer join, why they say outer join? It's just
you can use either way. It's a name. Either you can use left join or left outer join. The same thing. Left join or left outer. Like, Okay, full join. See what happens in full join. See the difference. Full join is going to give you the record that is either common or not common. What is n is coming from? Do we have an n there? Oh, it's null. Sorry. See, I have this in the left table. I have 1, 2, 3, and this thing 1, 2, 3, and then name these 3, and then I have the marks, right? Marks.
Yeah.
In the right table, I have 1, 2, 3, and then 5. So it's a 1, 2, 3, and 5, and then these marks I have. And then in this record is empty, right? I don't have anything for here. For 5, if you realize for 5, I don't have anything here, so it's empty, right? So it's giving you all the record from both table. That's what it's doing. All the record from both table. So I'm creating a data set. I'm just combining all the data from multiple table basically. That's what I'm doing. Regardless of the column common. If it's a common column, I can use union, right? Union all. Union, I can do that, right? But it's based on joining, so that's why I'm getting this. Okay.
So Arif bhai, when is mandatory to use commit?
Commit we use. It's called. There is an explicit commit or implicit commit. Okay. Certain cases, the commit will automatically happen. You don't have to write commit. It's called implicit commit. It will happen. And then explicit commit, whenever you do commit, like say if you do this commit, then it's manually you are changing, setting it on the database. Now, implicit commit, I actually forget one thing is most probably if you have a DDL command, if you have a DDL command, then it implicit commit automatically happen. Implicit commit means it's committing happening without you telling the computer to save it. You are not telling computer to save it, it will save automatically.
Okay.
Like say in Microsoft Word, if you want to exit, it will always give you a warning, you want to save, right? But
Yeah.
for some reason, the computer crash, still there is a copy, they automatically save, right?
Yeah.
In the scene, they keep saving a copy of the Microsoft Word. You can retrieve it later. That's called implicit, automatically saving. So if there's a DDL command any, then you don't have to do it. It's automatically happen. Remember, we are talking about delete, truncate, drop. Remember that? So if we drop, we cannot go back, can we?
No, you automatically they're committed, right?
Yes. If we do truncate, can we go back? No. If we do delete, can we go back? Yes. Right? Because the other case is automatically saving. In delete, it's not saving, right? So that's that's why it happens.
Commit means final.
Commit means is saving it, yes. But always there is a way to go back. There is a way to go back. The DBA can do it. We as a user, developer or tester or BA, whatever the user rule is, we cannot do that. The DBA can go back up to certain time. They can retrieve the same table up to certain time and then get it back. Behind the scene, the database always save this information. Let's see if you put a time, I want to go back right now is let's say 1048. If I want to see the same table at 1041, they can go back and retrieve the table. DBA can do that. Okay, they have that option. Okay, so any question on this joining? Are we clear or anything else?
It's good now.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit. I know we are running out of time, but let's talk about something else that we actually plan. View, okay? View, we talk already, but we just kind of need to review, right?
Right.
Okay. So
like we need to go to a practical example.
Okay, yeah. View and materialized view. Now, view, basically view does it, we have a select statement. Let's say complex select statement. We are joining with multiple tables and a big, like say 20 lines of select statement. Now we are using that a lot. We are doing, let's say, select, right? We are doing like very simple. So select this. So let's say we have a very big comment like this, really big statement. We are using that a lot. So every time we do that, the database behind the scene, they have to, what they do is they find out how can they get the data. They just don't get the data. They find out different way how they can get the data. Okay? Performance wise, they try it like say 5-6 different way, and whatever the cheapest one, faster one, then they give us the data. Now, if we do every time is a hassle for, work for the database engine. So what we can do, we can save this query. The big query, we can save it and give it a name. Yes. Let's say we give it a name. Let's say my query. I give it a name, my query. Okay. Now I can use this select all from my query. This query, whatever data this query is giving me, I can directly write and get the data from it. So first I have a big query, I'm saving it, and now this data, whatever the data I'm supposed to get, I can directly get it using that name as a table. It will work same like as a table. It will be much faster than table. Like say I'm running this query, right? This query I have 20 lines. I'm using it a lot. Now, since it's a big query and complex, I'm just giving it a name. Just give it a name. And then I'm using this as a reference. This is actually view. That's all it is. View is nothing but a select statement. Let's do this very simple example. Create view, view name, let's say test one. Okay. As then I'm putting select all. Let's I'm doing the select all from student name join. I have bio on j.id. I'm doing the join. This is my query, let's say, okay. Nothing, it's a simple query, I know, but usually it's a big query that you use. So let me just check first if I'm getting data or not. Syntax left join white or inner and left. So if I do this, see, I'm getting some data. Now, if I do this, I'm running this. See, column name in function master finish. What happened? Oh, I have a duplicated column. So that's why I'm putting here. A dot id, A dot name, B dot marks, C dot then now you see all is saying, see, I have the same column multiple times, right? I have ID in table A and also same column name ID in table B, so column name has to be different. One thing we can do actually, let me see if it works. Incorrect syntax ID. Why is it correct?
So without the column name, it didn't go through?
No, that's different. I'll show you. I know what's the problem is. Yeah.
I don't like. Can overcast it.
Okay. Okay. So here's this is what is view is. That's all. So I'm saying create. Actually, this is create, right? Create view name as, and then I'm just putting a select statement. This select statement could be like 200 lines of long, 300 lines, 20 lines, 30, doesn't matter. Whatever data is giving me is supposed to give me a set of data. That's all. It's a select statement. It's going to give me a set of data. So this data, whatever is giving me, is saving under this name. That's what it's doing. Just giving a name here. And then see if you realize I can use this same like a table. I don't know if it's a view or table. As a user point of view, I will not know. So this one I query is giving me the same data. See here what I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 record, right? Last 2 is null. See here I'm getting the same thing. See from this query and this here is saving. Now if I go in the database, look in the database I should have views. What is the name of v test 1? See v test 1. No, not this one. V test 1. See this is the view right there. As you can see, it's like normal column and everything table right there, right? See, in the view, you can see this thing. So view is nothing but a select statement that is saved. That's all it is basically. Okay. Now here, the one thing is that data itself is not saved. Data is not saved. Let me show you this.
So the data is saved.
Execute. Yes. Screen. Yes. Somebody saying something.
So I'm saying the data is not saved here. The data is saved.
Data is not safe. That is correct. Data is not safe.
Running that, I mean, when you refresh or you,
Let's say I'm not
run
joining all these things. Let's say I'm not joining. Just creating a simple one, right? Now, when you create it, first time you create. Now, every time you need to change something here, you do changes, you put alter. So I'm altering it.
Naturally, that's the
One table I put the selector. Now I see the data, right? Now see, this is my table, main table, right? This is the table I have, student name. So let me see what is the size of this table. Okay. See, I have 16 data is 8 kilobytes. So from this table I have 8 kilobytes. As you can see, 8 kilobyte, right?
Yeah.
Let's use 8 kilobyte. I have this table name. But using the same data, I'm creating this view. So let me see the size of this. I'm doing it. Right? See this view, data is null, 0, and this data is right. I'm using the same data, no? Same data. View does not save the data. It just saves the query. They save the query and the path of execution. Save query and path of. That's all it does. Please write it down. It saves query and the path of execution. It's very important. This path of execution. This is important. Query and path of execution. Now, memorize this name.
I cannot hear you, Arifai.
What happened?
I cannot hear you. Background noise.
Some background noise is coming from. Can you mute it and you can unmute? Okay. You can have Hassan right now?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm saying, as you can see, I want to know the size of this table. I want to know. Okay.
Yes.
So here 8, right? Let me do 8. As you can see, this table, let's student name. Let's do one thing. Insert into student name, right? Select all from student name. What I'm doing is I have how many record I have in this student? 5 records.
Yeah,
I'm inserting more. I'm inserting more. Now I have 8 kilobytes, right? So I'm inserting here more record just to see if this one increase or not. Just to take. Let me take a look. Okay. I hope it's
okay.
So I'm doing 5 record. I'm just putting more record here, right? See now right now I have 160 record. So let me check. I have 160 record. Oh no, 320. Okay. Now let me check the size. Before was what happened?
8.
Student name, index I. Okay, hold on. It should increase the size. Okay. It should increase the size. See, it's increase the size.
Yes.
See? 432 gig, right? Now, let me do one thing. Let me run the whole thing. I'm just dropping the whole table and recreating it, right? Now, let's see what is the size of the student. See, it's 8K. So see the table size, it depends. If I put more data, it increases, right? Student name table, it increases. Let me just do it one more time. Okay. Let me just do it one more time. Okay, I put a lot of records just for our, So now let me run it. See, it increases, right? But the data in the view, it also has so many thousands of records, right? I have so many records I put it in that. But The size doesn't change. Size is still 0. Why? Because it does not, view does not save any record, save any data. It saves only the query and the path of execution. Mentioning the path of execution is super important. The view is much faster than table. Why? That is the reason. See, in the table, I have all the data, right? In the view, I don't have the data, but still it is much faster. Why? Every time I query from this, like say I'm querying from this, right? Every time I query, it actually runs the whole thing. If I query from this, it actually runs the whole thing all over again. Okay. Then how come it's fast? Because of this path of execution. What happens is whenever I run it, whenever I run this query, right? Whenever I run this query, this one I run this query, behind the scene, it gets the data in multiple ways. 4-5 way tries. That okay, let me try this way, let me try that way, let me try that way. Now, option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then whatever the cheapest one, meaning whatever is faster and put less pressure to the database engine, use this path. So every time it does the same, check. It takes time. But here, whenever you're saving it, it already knows which one is the faster. So it doesn't check anything. He already knows that, right? He already knows it. It's called pre-compiled. This is what is called pre-compiled. Okay, it's called pre-compiled. Mention this word in the if they ask you. It is a pre-compiled query. It saves and the path of execution. Okay, that's why it's much faster view. Okay, so now in the view, let me run this again. So this is what happens. So I have 5 names, right? Yes. This is the view I have. See, in the view, in the table, same thing I have. Now let's say this is what I'm doing. I'm inserting the table. What is the table name? Student, right? Student name. Values, I'm inserting, let's say I'm inserting record number 6, and then I'm putting name. I'm putting this name, right? So I'm inserting. Oops. I'm inserting. Now, if I'm inserting a record, now look, before I insert, what I have? 5 record. In the view, what I have? 5 record. Now I'm inserting 1 record. In the table, not in the view, in the table. So now what I have in the table? 6 record. What I have in the view? 6 record. Right?
Yes.
Let me do this. Delete. Oh, let me do another thing. Now I did in the table, right? Let me do it in the view. V test 1. I'm doing the same thing in the view. I'm adding 1 more. In the view, not in the table. Okay? So let me do this. This is 1. Now let check in. I did it in the view, right? So let me check in the view. See, I have 7. In the view, I did it, not in the table. I have. Let me check on the table. See? Seeing that. They're connected, right? Because view is nothing but is query from this. So these two are connected. If I query this, it goes there. If I query this, it runs this whole thing, right?
Oh, sorry, but if you update in the view, that reflects also in the database table as well?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Insert. Now, like since you mentioned, I'm doing this update. What is the table? Let me update the table. Student name, set name. Let's say I'm putting your name. I put like say Hussein. I put 2, right? I am putting 22. Let's say. Okay. Where ID is equal to 7. I'm updating the record in the table, not in the view. So let me check before I do that. I have 7, 2, right? Let me update it in the table. Now 1 row updated affected. I'm going in the table since I'm in the detail. See, now it's 22. Let me check in the view. See,
it should have.
So I'm updating. Let me do the same thing in the view. Okay, I'm updating it. So I'm updating. Let's say this one. Now I'm putting. Let's say 2, 2, 2. Okay. I'm updating in the view. 1 row affected. So let me check in the view. What happened? What did I do? Okay. So now see, it's changing. Let me check in the table. See, it's changing. So we can insert, update. Let me do one more thing. We can do three things: insert, update, and delete. Both things, I mean. So delete from, I'm doing in the, let's say, view test, okay, where ID is equal to 7. I'm deleting this one, right? Basically,
Yeah.
deleting this one. Let me do this one. In the view, I'm doing it. Okay. So let me check in the view. 7 is gone. Let me check in the table. 7 is gone. So let me do one thing again.
So we can do both of them, like from either from table or from
Yes.
view, like it will they both are interconnected and we can do
Right.
both.
That's all I'm trying to. So see, I have number 7. I have, right? I mean, this is the table. I'm checking. Table I'm checking. I have number 7. So I'm deleting it from the view. I've deleted it already. Now I'm deleting it from the table. I'm deleting it. Okay, one refactor. So let me check in the table. It's gone. Let me check in the view. It's gone. So basically what I'm doing, say insert, update, delete. If you do it either place, doesn't matter where you do it.
And it reflects on
It will be affected in the other. Because if you look the definition itself, or what is saying, every time you use this, it's running the whole thing. It's not just running this, it's running the whole thing. If you run a query from this, right, this is the name. This is nothing but a name of this complex query. That could be 200 lines. Okay. This query could be 200 lines. So this is a complex query thing. So all this view is nothing but a name. Nothing but a name of this. So if I query this, actually it's running the whole thing. So if I do something here, it's changing here. If I change something here, it's doing also here. They're connected. And also memorize this name, sp underscore space used. What it does basically, it give you the size of something, size of table or whatever, size of table view. You can find out materialized view, procedure, anything basically, space used. And this is the parameter you are passing, whatever name you want to do, basically, whatever object you are looking for the size. That's all, nothing else. Okay.
Okay, so Arif bhai, remember I told you, let's say I have Hussein number 7, ID number 7, right?
Yeah.
Same record. So in order to delete one of this record, row ID, we can use row ID while close to delete that one of the record, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Row ID, you mean ID, right? ID name.
No, ID name.
ID. Like,
oh yeah, the ID would be different, right?
Yeah.
The ID would be different. Okay.
Yeah. Any question on this? You can do insert, update. What operation can you perform in a view? Insert, update, delete.
Insert, update, and delete.
Delete. Yes. Okay.
View, we can.
All three of them.
Yeah, all three of them. All three operations. Either way, you can do either place. This is important. Like you can do table and view.
Either you can do table or view.
Yeah, that's all actually it means. This is what I'm trying to make your understanding. Right? So any question on
I have that. She's awake and she
It's very important concept to understand. Okay?
right.
Very important.
Yeah, I got it.
Very important.
You want to go over materialized view, right?
What happened? What happened, Asamai?
No, now we're going to do materialized view.
It's very simple. Couple of minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
So materialized view is basically same thing as a view. Materialized view, same thing. The only difference is you can do the same operation. What do you call that? Insert, update, delete, things like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the difference is basically in view we don't save the data. We don't save the data, but in materialized view we save the data. That's the difference. We save the data, nothing else. We as you can see in the space used, right? We save the data in table, but we do not save the data in the view. And then in materialized view, the only difference is in materialized view we save the data like table. That's the difference. Okay. Now again, it is faster than a table. Why? Because data is saved and also the query path is saved, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's far faster in data warehouse. We use materialized
What
view.
about view? Like materialized view is faster than view, the normal view or not?
Yes. This is how it is. Materialized view, and then is view, and then is a table. This is how it is. This is how it is. It's because if you realize this is completely raw thing, right? And this is, we know the path of execution, precompiled. This is also precompiled with the data. This is without the data. This is with the data. And this is index. So, I mean, this is the index also. That's why it's faster. Now, okay. Create view. Now here, see this naming convention. Any view you do, you put v underscore. Materialized view, we put MB. That's like standard. You don't have to do it. Nothing to do with naming, It's nothing. So I'm putting, let's say, student table. Now, one thing difference is whenever you create a materialized view, you have to put with schema binding. Schema binding. This is the word that you have to put. Schema binding. This is the word you have to put. That actually means like whatever view I'm using, whatever this is we have to put whatever table I'm using to create this view. We cannot change anything behind the scene. The table that I'm using to create that materialized view, I cannot change anything on the table because the data is saved here. It's not whenever I query from this materialized view, it does not go to the table. In view, it goes to the table, right? In materialized view, it doesn't go to the table because data is saved here. That's why. With schema binding, S, and then here I put something, select all from student name. So whenever you do something like that, always make sure that inner query, always you are getting some record. Okay, so you're getting some record. So now this is what I'm doing. It's not allowed syntax. Okay. So what I have, what I have here, I forgot what I have. ID, name. Okay, so I'm getting something because the name student name is invalid. Student name is invalid. So we don't have that. Student with the schema binding. Oh, should I don't have to. Hold on 1 second. Why the bracket thing? No. From student name. The bracket. Give me 1 second. Okay. Schema binding is schema binding. Why is schema design? Okay. Schema binding and student name. Binding is to format object reference itself. 1 second. Okay. The video. 1 second, guys. Let me find out. Database is these tables. Student name.
I wait.
DV, 1 second. What is my table? Student, ST. I don't see this. Am I looking in the right place?
I wait.
No. Yes, Asama, 1 second. Let me, should be fine now. Yeah, Asama, sorry, go ahead. I know what's the problem.
Okay.
I'll talk. What happened?
Okay, so that's what I was asking you. I was about to tell you the same thing, the DBO
Yeah, schema. Because I didn't put
schema.
schema. That's why.
Yeah.
So now I'll go back to there. Let me just see if it's working. Select all from MB STD. Okay. As you can see here, I'm seeing the same thing. Okay. So here again, see, I already created. Now I'm doing it again. It's giving me there is only not, so I can do alter properly here. Alter. If I do first I'm doing this and alter, I can whatever I'm having. Now here look. So I create the materialized view, right? I create it. Now let me check one thing. Let me check the space, right? So I put execute sp space
Underscore space.
and then now I have what this name, right? MB there will be std. Okay. Okay. Now see there will be no amount here. Okay. So this is matters view we created, right? I have the data. I can see the data, but it's showing in memory here. Okay, the data is not saved. I just create the view. So I have to do here one thing. I have to do create. I'll come back to create Unix cluster index. Yes, index create unique cluster index on and guys right now std on this now this. So I'm doing it using IT and I have a name. Okay, so let me see it's creating first on this syntax dot on. Okay, plus index 1 second, index name, let's I'm putting MV std on. Okay, this is the name correct, right? 1 second. It should be working. Okay, good. Okay, 1 second. No, I don't have to talk. So here let me check the let me do this. Okay, now I am altering this, right? Now if I look, I can see the data fine, right? Now I'm executing the space, I see 0. Now I'm creating this successfully, right? Now let me check the space. See, I have the data here. You see this? Let me do it again. Okay, go through it again. What I did is first I have to create the materialized view. I create the materialized view, right? I said same thing like create. First time is create, right? Create view name. I didn't say materialized view. Create view is a view. I create view name same with normal this thing. Okay, regular select query. Now the only thing difference is with schema binding. That actually means this word meaning like underlying table that you are using for this, you cannot change. You can change the data, but you cannot change the structure. You can put more data, delete data, everything. But let's say you are adding a column or you are deleting a column, not the deleting row, deleting column, adding column, deleting column. Structure you cannot change. That's all it means with schema binding. That you cannot change the structure of the table that you are using to create the view. That's all it means. So I'm creating this materialized view, right? Creating this view, I'm done. Now I'm checking the space, nothing, it's a 0. Do I have the data? Yes, I have the data, fine. Now I have to do one more thing. This in SQL Server is called index view. Index view actually means, say it is faster, right? So you are creating on this view, this is a view right now. On this view, you are creating in cluster index. Cluster index. When you create a cluster index, there is also non-cluster index. Cluster index meaning you are saving the data for whatever index you are using. You are whatever index you are using, you are creating and saving the data for it. You are creating and saving the data for this index, whatever the materialized view you are using. So if I use this, now I can see the data is saved. Now I can see the data is saved. Without that, it's just like a normal view. Without that, it works like a view. If I don't do that, it's not a materialized view, it's view. Once I do this, now I'm saving. Here basically I'm saving the data. That's all I'm doing. Here I'm telling the system. Here I'm telling the database engine. Okay, save the data for this view. This is the view name, right? Save the data for this view. Okay, and create the index based on this. That's all it is doing. Make sense?
Yeah.
The two things is different is this, and then we need to create a cluster index. That's all. Complicated?
Yeah.
Complicated?
No, just have to.
Arvind,
Yeah.
in Oracle, the command is different, right?
The create materialized, yeah, command is different.
Okay, so it says create and materialized view and as.
S, same thing, and then you put the select statement.
Yeah, we don't put the schema binding
No.
with the schema binding over there. Okay, but we need to mention the materialized view and then view name and then as, right?
Yeah. In Oracle, another thing is also different. Yeah, the command is not a big problem. You can browse the command, but the concept-wise, in Oracle, you can like change the underlying table data. You can change like structure, and it is not connected. In Oracle, the underlying table and the materialized view is not connected normally. You have to, I think the command is fast. I forget the command. There is a command that you have to include to sync the data, with the materialized view. It is completely different. Set table and materialized view is completely different unless you mention to be synced. Unless you listen in the table, if the data is changing, the materialized view doesn't change. They are not connected. But here it is connected. This is connected. In Oracle, it is not connected unless you mention that be connected. There is a command in there. I forgot. It's called fast refresh or something. I forget the command. If you put that in here, if you put that in the command button, you put that command, then it will be always in sync in Oracle. Otherwise, it's not in sync. But in SQL Server, it is in sync always. I mean, it's connected. It's always in connected, and that's all basically is connected. But data set, the data set as a physically data is saved in both places, Oracle and SQL Server. There's the difference. In view, you do not save the data as you can see here, but in materialized view, you save the data.
So, Arifai,
Yeah.
just a recap. Initially, we created the view. Underscore std. That's the name of the material.
Sorry, I could not hear you. What happened?
No, to create the materialized view on SQL Server, first we created the view mbstd, right?
Yeah.
Then we put with the schema binding as and whatever table we want to create the views on.
No. Here is the view name, not the table. This is the view.
Yeah, this is the view we created earlier.
Yes.
Okay, to save, then we have created unique clustered index. Then this is the name of the materialized view. And materialized view, I mean index MBSTD, then on MBSTD, ID and name we created. At the bottom line, this is where we set it, right?
Right, right. Autonomy is where we save. We want to
And
save the data.
second one, we just see if to see the memory if it's saved there or not.
Last thing I missed.
Can you hear me?
I cannot.
Aribhai, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so the second command, execute sp underscore space used mb underscore st to show that if the space that is taking in the memory.
Yes. What happened is this is completely nothing to do with materialized view.
Just to see for ourselves.
Yeah, that's like say anything. That's like say any table, anything you put it here, table name, view name, materialized view name, then it's going to tell you just the memory use. That's all. This is what it's used for. Okay. So I just want to tell. I just wanted to show you that in view there is no memory. Materialized view there is memory. Yes, Saidai.
Okay, so I use a selected statement with joins in it, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I'm doing the unique clustered index on it, it says index cannot be used on the join. Not use the index on the left, right, or full outer join. So consider using an inner join instead.
Yeah, this is the another thing I also need to talk to you. There is a limitation. There is a limitation. Limitation means in view, whenever you create view, like say insert, update, and I'll get back to this. But before that, let me talk a little bit something else that is important. Whenever we create view, right? If we create view using like set operator, like union all, except, those are the thing, or aggregate function, like say sum, count, average, those are the thing. And if we use things like that, aggregate function, and then set operator, then we cannot do insert, update, delete. We cannot do in a view. We can create the view, but this insert, update, delete operation will not be performed. We can do that. If there is a column in the view, if a column in the view coming from aggregation, set operator, then we cannot do that. Okay. And then another thing, the class, the index, Hassan bhai, Said bhai, you are saying that you are using the joining, right?
Yeah.
And this thing, you are the column that you get is from the join, right?
Yeah.
And then he's saying that you cannot do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It says that you cannot create index on it. It's giving me, it's creating the materialized view, but when I'm doing the unique cluster index on it and trying to create the index, it's not allowing me.
Okay. That means the
It's
joining,
like,
that means joining, any column that you are getting from the joining, you cannot do it. Now here you have to understand this. This is create the materialized view. This does not create the materialized view. This create the view. This create the view, just the view. This create the materialized view. Okay. So if the joining, with the joining, that means that in the joining you cannot use the joining column, you cannot use to create a materialized view.
Okay, all right.
So now another option, in that case, what actually happens, you can create a table first. You can create a table with all the joining, right? You are creating a data set. You are creating. Oh, another thing, in the view, you cannot use a temporary table. Like say here I'm using, let's say this is a view, not a materialized view. Here I'm saying I'm using a temporary table. Temporary table means starting with percent sign, ampersand sign, no, number sign, sorry. And then let's say this is my temporary table, right? This is my temporary table. I cannot create the view using the temporary table. It has to be real table. Okay. So, so what we can do in that case, in the joining, we can create with all the joining, we can create a real table, right? We can create a table, and then from that table we can create this materialized view. This is what actually does in data warehouse. Data warehouse is a lot of joining, right? So how then if we cannot using joining, then how can we create materialized view? So we create a table based on this join, and from this table we create the meta list view. Try in that way, you'll be able to.
All right. I may, but it gives me another option. It says consider using an inner join instead.
But if you need to use left join, then if you use the inner join, the data will be wrong, right?
Right.
That will be wrong. So I'm saying if you just create a completely different set of table, different set of data, I mean, and then from there you create that. Because this is used mostly in data warehouse. OLAP.
I'm just checking it out. So let's see. I will create it through the inner join. Let's see what it gives me. So, and I'll do alter with the. Okay. All right. Yep, it goes through.
Goes through. But if you realize left join or multiple join, your data has to be correct. So in that case, you create a different table, and then from that table, you create a this index. Okay. Do a little bit practice. It's not complicated. We just we need to know this thing because view we need to know a lot because view is used a lot, and materialized view also used in data warehouse we use a lot. Okay, so we need to understand the concept, things like that to test it basically. When they create a materialized view, and then it coming from table, so we need to compare if whatever the materialized view contains, if those are correct or not. Those are the things.
Right.
And then do a little bit practice, just to understand, and then we can probably talk next week more. And then okay, just to give you, so this is, make sure you understand, memorize this. And
SP underscore spaces, right?
This is what happened? Sys dot object.
The SP underscore spaces you're talking about, right?
Select. We need to memorize this term, sys dot object. Okay. If you realize, see here in this table, it's a system table actually. System table. Let's see what we have. We have all the object name. Object name. We have all the object name. Object name meaning like table, view, anything we created, we have it here. Anything we created, we have it here. For the system. Now there is another one, I think, user. It is. User. So why is showing me that then? This dot. Hold on, I think. This all the system table basically. System object that system creates for our information. The system object, and if you look, just take a look on this. The one that we need to use actually the object, because once we do, if you need to drop something. If you need to drop something, if it does not exist, how can you drop it if it does not exist? It's going to throw an error, right?
Right.
It's going to throw an error. So first we have to find out if it exists or not. If I'm going to write a query, I'm going to put like this. I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to show you. If exists, right? Let's say if exists this table, right? Then drop. If I just directly do drop it, if it does not exist, it's going to throw an error. It's going to say it's not exist. How can I drop it? So first I have to check if it exists, and then we have to drop it. Now how can we check if it exists? You can check from the system object tables. System object tables. Hold on. Select all from do it here. See this here, take a look. See this, our table name is animal, right? Is there, right there, see, animal,
Yeah.
right? Now we have test also, bio, see, this is the thing we did, bio 2, bio 3, and then we did chemistry, this CHE, see, and then we have what? We have also test, some table we did, see, B test, see, everything is here, right? Do you see this? Everything is here. So we can, from here, we can find out if it exists or not. If it exists, drop it. If it doesn't exist, don't drop it.
So it's under system objective, sys.object, right?
Yes, yes. So remember, sometimes they ask me in the interview that how can you drop something? Then you can say, how can you drop a table? Then you can say, oh, I can use drop table name. And then you're going to say, if you tell them that first I have to check if it exists or not from the sys.object, then I can drop it. I'll write it. So let's say I want to drop this one, v.test, right? Let's say. So if you realize, if you see here, the type it says v, that means it's a view. Okay, v means view, p means procedure, v is a view. Now let's look here. Look, see, this is a table. It says user table. So user table is u type. Okay, let's say I want to drop this animal too. Let's say I want to drop this. So so what I can do is, if I do this, select, I want to put if exist, we have some time, let's talk about this. If we have exist, exist exist, if exist, why is it, did I spelling mistake? No, is it spelling mistake?
No.
All from sys dot object where type is equal to, I'm going to put u because it's a table, I'm on drop table, right? U, and then name is equal to, I'm putting I have animal 2, right? And then I'm putting drop table.
You made a mistake.
One second. Where?
All the way at the corner, like not over here in the second line. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's do this. Let's do this one. I'm putting this one. I'm dropping it. Throwing an error. Cannot drop this because it doesn't exist. Right? I'm dropping. Okay. I'm doing this. Right? I'm just dropping this. Throwing an error. Now if I run this one, if exists, right? If I do this, I'm checking first if it exists. I'm checking, right? Checking. So now I'm doing this. First I'm checking. It's not throwing an error. See, it's not throwing an error because first it's checking if it exists or not, then drop it. Right? First it's checking, then it's dropping. But it doesn't exist, so it's not dropping. Right? You realize that?
Yep.
If I just do this itself, it's throwing an arrow. But if I run this thing, it does not throw in an arrow. So if I want to drop this in email 2, right? First I'm checking and then I'm dropping. So if I do this, now it's dropping. Command run successfully. Now if I run it here, I'll not see this animal 2 gone. Yeah, go ahead, Said. So please memorize also this thing. Memorize meaning like understanding wise. If exists, I just want you.
All right. System objective, like the thing which we created on the database, you can also get it from the report.
The system, database does it. System, we don't.
No, but you can get it from the report also. Like there's a report. If you right click on the database on the left hand side,
Yeah. There is a multiple way to do
and
it. There is also
yeah,
some other view. There is also some other view that you can get this information. Yeah, you can do it from multiple
so
sources.
so like I was checking it out. Like there are some standard report on the database,
Yeah.
and it has like one schema changes history.
Yes.
And when you get that, it will tell you exactly what you did with the database.
Yes. That is correct.
Like
Yeah. Definitely.
any views or any table you created, it will tell you from that too.
Also time and everything. It give you whole details
Yep.
information. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah. But these are the things that we use. Like if we write a stored procedure, we need to use this tag
Mm.
because we cannot expect any error in there, right?
Right.
Any error that we have to catch it. This is how we catch it. You know, that's the thing. Because we run automation script that is like 2 hours, 3 hours,
Right.
1 hour. It keeps running, and if there is one silly mistake, it's going to stop the whole thing, right? Any
Correct.
error that throws it cancel the execution, right? So that's why we have to find a way. How can we stop error? Throwing error
Right.
when it's running. This is how we do it. Okay. So that's an important thing. Okay. One more thing. We have a few minutes. Just quickly. It's nothing. To take a synonym. Okay. Synonym. Synonym is nothing but an alternative name of an object. Let's say do this. Select all from animal. Name. Right. I'm running this. I have the data. Now I'm doing this. Create synonym name animal. Okay. For I'm gonna put for because where this is by like renaming it. For what? For animal. Okay. So if I do this, I'm just putting this is a different name of this, right? Now if I do this, select all from SN AN. See what happened? If I run this, I'm getting this. If I run this, I'm getting the same thing. Now here in the synonym one, see SN, see SN animal, it is right. The synonym view. If you
So
go in view,
it create another table or
no,
just like
no.
just rename it?
Here, look, this one. It's just renaming it. Rename? No. Renaming is wrong one. It's like another name. Now you still have this name. Name doesn't change. It's not renaming. Sorry, is another nickname you are giving it to. Okay,
So
another name. Let me
it's
show you.
similar to alias, right?
What happened?
I said it's similar to alias.
Alias. Exactly. Would be the correct word. In alias. Yes.
Alias, you don't save any data in there in the table. But
Objects of this type. See what it says. Objects of this type have no space allocated. See. Synonym does not save anything. It's just another name. Now, what's the purpose of it? Let's say the name of your table. This is the name. You do not want anybody to know that. Let's say a developer created a table and he doesn't want the name of the table. Okay. Or table name is really big. Table name is animal. This is a table name. It's really big. So every time you have to type the whole thing, right? There's a problem. So either you do not want anybody to know the table name or the table name is complex, big thing. You just make it a shorter. That's it. You put it like this. So it's just another name. It's not this original name stays the same. Original name stays the same. Okay. It's just you are creating. See, you have the data here. On this name, you are doing whatever you are doing here. Data you can see what happened is gone here. And also is the same thing here. Same thing. Okay. So synonym is like alternative name. Alternative name. Okay. You can create multiple synonym for the same table also sometimes. It depends, for different environment. But synonym is an alternative name, nothing. And you can drop it if you don't like it. Drop synonym SN AM. You just can drop it. I don't like it, I'm dropping it. Done. Okay. And then whenever you create a synonym, your coworker or some people, they may not be able to use it unless, because this is your object, you create it. Nobody can use it unless you give them permission. So to give them permission, you do grant, let's say you want them to use it. So grant select on SN this for, I mean, not for, sorry, to username. Whatever the user you want to give, your coworker, you run this one, is going to give them permission so that they can use it. They can use this synonym. So they don't need to know all these big name or whatever your table name is, everything. You just creating a different name. You just alternative name. You're just creating some multiple name. That's all. You're creating a separate name of the original object, and you are giving them this name. You don't have to give them this name. Give them, and they can query from here. That's it. It's like regular. Whatever the table they can do the same thing in Synonym. But they have to have the permission. Without the permission, they cannot do. They cannot use it. Okay. Same thing with view or materialized view. Also, you have to give them permission. If you create something, nobody can use it unless you give them permission. Okay. Any question, guys? Anything else? I think one more thing we wanted to talk but cannot talk, which is like looping thing. We will talk next class. It's going to take some time.
Right, no problem.
Guys, see, this is very important. View we talk, and materialized view, and synonym is important also. But two things is very important: view and materialized view. This is the two things that we talk today. That is important, actually. And of course, the joining that we already talked before. But view, materialized view, please practice this thing. Please practice is very, very important. I mean, understanding it basically, not like creating it only. You know, you can create it, that's fine, but to understand it, how this thing works, you know, do some little bit of study, but don't go too deep, like I said, because there's a lot of option. You can create the view, you can create the materialized view, you can create like encryption, you can create partition, you know, all these options. We don't need this. You will never use it. Nobody will ask you. You will never use it as a tester. Never do that. So don't concentrate on those things that is not necessary right now. Once you get the job, then you can learn, you know, a lot of things. That's different. Okay, so like whatever I showed you, please concentrate on this. This is enough. Anything else, guys?
No,
any question?
So this was a good explanation. View, other than like all this time we studied, but didn't really understand that, you know, that.